In this video, I speak about the basic requirements for applying to a school abroad. Briefly, the whole study abroad process. Where do I start from? Why you should choose a STEM designated program over a non-STEM designated program if you're applying to a school in the US. If you are new here, please make sure you do subscribe to my channel. We are talking about career, education, and lifestyle. This is Excel with Amy. Welcome to the channel where education meets adventure and passions are transformed into lifelong lessons. Excel with Amy. The first question is, what are the basic requirements for applying to any school abroad? This will differ from country to country. However, speaking to the US, I can mention a few list of documents that you need to get before you can start your application process. A statement of purpose, the letter of recommendation, academic CV or resume, transcript and certificate. Usually for the transcript, you sometimes have to do the WES evaluation. If you are in a school that was using cumulative CWA, you have to convert it to the GPA. So that is when the WES evaluation comes in. The statement of purpose, I have a video on my channel. You can look at the things that should be in the statement of purpose. Letter of recommendation, you can get these letters from your professors, from your previous working employers. Please make sure that they are not writing just short letter of recommendation. I think I have a video on that, and I'll add in the description of this video. So the transcript and certificate, the certificate, if you did in like the dean's award or anything outstanding, you can make sure that you include them in your application. English proficiency certificate. So this differ from school to school. Some schools don't require it, others are requiring it. So you just have to know which school you are applying to and if they are taking it. Your passport, everyone knows that before you start this whole process, you have to get your passport. So your passport, and the most important part of the passport is the passport bio data, the first page with everything about yourself. The next thing is the test scores. So we have the GRE, the SAT. Also, the requirement for this depends on school, because some schools are waiving it and some schools are not waiving it. So you just have to know if you have it, you can attempt schools that are not waiving it, because most people don't like to write it. So if you have written it, it will give you an upper hand. Nonetheless, some schools are waiving it. So if you don't have it, you still can do your applications without them. Publications, if you have any publications, that would be a good thing to add in your application. So publications is also a good thing. So I think these are a few to mention, right? The list is inexhaustible. You have to make sure that you know the school you're applying to and what they are requiring of you. The next question is, how do I start the whole travel abroad process? From university researching and finding a course to read. So I would say that there is no particular formula, obviously. There is no particular formula to starting this study abroad process. But I think one thing that from the people that reach out to me, one thing that we are all lacking is the ability to be able to research, right? In your search, you discover other things that you could do aside a program that you want to study. So I'll say that first of all, you have to have that mindset of seriousness and growth. If you don't have it, that the process is going to look so long and difficult for you. So first, you pick a subject. You pick a subject. When you pick the subject first, because once you pick the subject, you know even which country you get better schools to offer those programs. So in picking a subject, you think about what you like doing, what you aspire to be in the future, and what you have interest in. The graduate school application can be very difficult, as I always say, but then once you have done your research and you know that this thing that I'm going for, I really like it, even though it's hard, you always push for something you like, right? So we are always saying that consider your interest, your career aspirations, and what you want to do in the future in choosing the course you want to study. Secondly, you want to choose the country of study. So in choosing the country of study, you can consider the language, the cultural differences, cost of living and all of that stuff. So you don't just choose a country because everyone is going to this country. Make sure that you have a reason for choosing that country, and these are some of the things you have to consider in choosing a country. So now that you've chosen a course and then you have chosen a country, you need to do a research cost. In looking at the research cost, you have to consider every course that comes with the studies, right? So you can consider the options available to you: scholarships, you can consider graduate assistantships, you can consider international student loan, you can consider part-time jobs and all of that stuff. So once you choose a country, you even know the amount of hours you can work as a student, and then you can plan with this. If you know that you are going to a school that will offer sponsorship, that is fine. If you don't, then you have to look at international student loan. So I have talked about, you find what you want to do, and then you look where you want to go, and then you research the cost of going to this place. And then the fourth thing I would say you should do is apply. Before you apply to any school, make sure that you have reached out to the department or the program coordinator. In reaching out to the school, I'll say when you go on the let's say if you want to offer computer science, and then you go on the school website, you go under programs computer science, there'll be a portion that says wanting to know more about this program. Just click on it. The school will make sure they email you, and then they'll email you letting you know if you are eligible for the program, if you are even eligible for application waiver, or if you do not meet the eligibility, right? They will tell you even before you waste your time. Once they reach out to you, you are able to even know if there are funding opportunities by asking them, or they even tell you before you ask them. So make sure that you are reaching out to the school before you apply to the school. That sounds like I might not get feedback. I advise that before you apply to any school, make sure that you are reaching out before you do apply to get more information. So once you have applied to the schools, they make the decision and then they reach out to you. So the first step is then you get to get offers, like you get admissions. When we say offers, some admissions come with, like I'm saying, funding. Maybe they'll give you admission with partial funding, they'll give you admission with full funding, all of that stuff. So once you get the admission, some people get admission without funding, and I have a video on my YouTube channel that talks about the options available to you if you got admission without funding. So the fifth step is you get offers. The sixth step is once you have gotten the offer, someone will ask what's next. You sort out your visa and accommodation, and this is one huge part of this whole process. Even after you have gotten admission and you have gotten your sponsorship, there is the visa process too, where you pay the MRV. That is a conversation I'm going to cover in another video. But then the sixth step is you sort out your visa and then your accommodation. You can fall on students that are in the school, or you can look online. I did mention some accommodation portals in my recent video that talks about when your visa has been approved, so you can refer to that if the need be. The last thing is you get insurance and finalize your travel plans. So some of the schools, their offers they give you includes insurance, so it might not apply to you. But then once you have gotten admission and then there is no insurance, you secure your insurance and then your travel plans, and yes, you are ready to go. So I did mention 7 points that I would like to say them again. Pick a subject, choose the country, you have to do your research course, then you apply. Once you apply, receive offers, and then you sort out your visa and accommodation, and then you are ready to go. I did ask a question in one of my WhatsApp groups saying that do you know why you should choose a STEM designated program over a non-STEM designated program? And there was this lot of arguments around this. People saying that if you're in the business field, you can never go into the STEM designated program. Mind you, when we are talking about STEM, it's science, technology, engineering, and math. You really cannot tell if a program is STEM designated because of the name. Like, I read Master of Global Business Management. Can you read any STEM in this? No. But then my program was STEM designated. So first of all, you have to do your research. If you're applying to a program, you want to reach out to the program coordinator to know if this program is a STEM designated program. Now, I want to read what the US consider as a STEM designated program. STEM designated program in the US refers to a program of study that falls within the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. These programs have been recognized by the US government as contributing to the advancement of knowledge and innovation in these critical areas. So you can't really tell if they are considering this course as promoting the advancement of innovation in their country, right? So you don't just conclude that a program like public administration is not STEM. Public administration is STEM. So I cannot talk about other programs that are STEM and non-STEM, but then you have to do your research once you're applying to a school to make sure that you know if the program is a STEM or non-STEM program. Once you know this, what are the advantages of going into a STEM program? So the after school in the US, if you're in a non-STEM program, it gives you 1 year of OPT, which is the optional practical training. If you are in a STEM programs, after the optional practical training, you get the opportunity to have extra 2 years, which is called a STEM extension. So these 2 years, the importance of this is that you are learning what you came to the US to study, like get a hands-on experience of this. Once you have gotten these 3 years, it's obviously increases your chance of gaining more experience and even working more time. For the other advantage of STEM program, I do not want to mention now. The purpose of this video is for you to know that once you are choosing a program in the US, you want to focus if it's STEM or non-STEM. And the advantage is that you get to work 3 years after a STEM designated program. There are a lot of work opportunities. Employers prefer to hire people with STEM designated programs because obviously they are going to be with you for 3 years, and that is enough time for a company to know you and get whatever they want from you, as well as you also get what you want from them.